welcome back to our last episode of the Four Downs podcast prior to the Super Bowl. This is the show where we cover 4 trending NFL topics in 20 minutes or less. As always, I'm joined by Josh, a.k.a. Kablumski. How you doing, brother? Are you ready for Super Bowl Sunday?
Let's go. I'm so ready for this show. I'm so ready to debate with you. I'm so ready to get this show going. I'm so ready for Sunday. It's going to be a great Super Bowl Sunday. Looking forward to the halftime show. Let's get this going.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing this will probably be our most contentious show of the season. If you don't know, Josh and I are very, very good friends. We play fantasy football together.
Yes.
We spend usually about an hour pre-show just shooting the shit, chopping it up. But this is the one show of the year where I think we have quite a few differing opinions.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Before we get into our Super Bowl coverage, we're going to talk a little bit about last night's NFL awards, where a lot of the awards went where we thought they were going to. Both the offensive and defensive rookie of the year going to Jayden Daniels and Jared Verse. You had your offensive player of the year, your defensive player of the year going to Saquon Barkley and Pat Surtain. Then we got to head coach of the year and MVP, where the NFL threw a wrench into the system. Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings wins head coach of the year, whereas I was a big believer in Dan Quinn and thought he should have taken the award. Of course, Dan Campbell came up in a lot of conversations as well for the job he did with the Lions. Real quick, so we have time to talk MVP. Josh, who would your pick have gone to for coach of the year, and why is it Dan Quinn?
Well, it is Dan Quinn, but let's start backwards here. First of all, I'm definitely not even considering Dan Campbell, and it's not a knock on him. It's just the fact that they came in with such high expectations, right? They had such a high ceiling. They were projected to be in the Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl or bust type season, and unfortunately, they came up short. So I just feel like we need to pump the brakes on him. Still a great coach, still on the right track. Just an awesome guy, but just not this year. It is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, the Commanders were not supposed to be here, right? He did it with a rookie quarterback. I get Jayden Daniels is kind of a generational quarterback, but still, it's a rookie quarterback. O'Connell had a veteran, quote unquote, at the helm. So let's make sure we compare those apples. And then what he did with defensively in that division was just tremendous. I think Dan Quinn should have had it by a long shot.
I agree. And I say if Jayden Daniels had gone to a different system, he would not have had the success. Let's say we flip-flop, put him in Chicago. We're probably talking about Caleb Williams, if let's say he's in Washington, being the rookie of the year. I really think that their system was designed well for Daniels to just slide in, and that's a lot of Dan Quinn's system and what he was able to put together there. Now, the biggest shocker, and what was it, 11 o'clock? We were texting the group chat about the Josh Allen pick for MVP. And let me preface this by saying Josh Allen is one of, if not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Correct. Let's get that on the table. Yes.
He's gifted. As far as just his physical gifts, he is, 1A with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson right there. What he did in Buffalo after losing some of his premier weapons, outstanding. However, the award is the most valuable player.
Right.
The award should go to the player who had the best season on a good team and perhaps exceeded expectations.
Correct.
So when you're talking about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, both elite AFC teams. Granted, the Bills had one more win than the Ravens, but Lamar Jackson was better in almost every statistical category, minus rushing touchdowns.
Correct.
And how much of this vote do you think comes from voter fatigue and Derrick Henry being in Baltimore so that voters could justify Lamar Jackson having more weapons than Josh Allen? Minute and 30 seconds, both those questions, go.
I think you hit it on the head as far as the curveball. There's one that you threw in there with Derrick Henry. That's the one thing that a lot of people are not understanding and not paying attention to is the addition of Derrick Henry as it was supposed to help and as it did help, but it kind of hurt Lamar Jackson. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Lamar Jackson should have been MVP. You look at what he did the previous 2 years, he exceeded those numbers, all right? Let's just put that out there statistically. What he did in his division, what he's doing on the field is very Steph Curry-esque. The no-look touchdowns we are watching greatness. I don't care about voter fatigue. When greatness is in front of you, you do appreciate it. I don't care what kind of fan you are or anything like that. And this is not to knock on Josh Allen. Like you mentioned before, great quarterback up there, elite status. There's a few people that can say elite. Josh Allen has that behind his name and has it for multiple years now. But the thing is that this year, Lamar Jackson, it should have been MV3. Tremendous year. Statistically, on the field, what he did with that team was just tremendous. You think about it, when you put two alpha males, sometimes that could not work. So what they did together to make it work, and they're just one little bump away from getting to the promised land for sure.
And with the 4 seconds we have left, I want everyone to keep in mind that Lamar Jackson didn't just hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson threw for over 4,000 yards, right. 40 touchdowns, I believe 4 interceptions. So he took his passing game not just to a new level, into a new universe. Right. And he was the best player in the NFL this year, hands down, no questions.
Not bad for a running back, huh?
Oh, yeah. So our second topic today is going to focus on the NFC team being represented in the Super Bowl. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. And as a massive homer, I'm just going to run the intro and hand off to Josh to talk Eagles keys to victory. So, Josh, what do the Eagles need to do, the primary focal points for this team, in order to knock the Kings off their throne?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it's not what they need to do, is what they've been doing. Just continue this. You got the blueprint, you got the recipe, just continue it going. The reason why I'm saying that is because you're talking about the number one team in the NFL for rushing. You're talking about the number one team for defense. Last time I checked, defense was championships, right? But the thing about those two, if you put those together, the key of this game, not about personnel, not about nothing. If you put a good defense and a good running game, you have time of possession. The time of possession in this game, to me, is going to be very, very crucial. Like we talked off air about, putting Jalen Hurts in an obvious throwing down is going to be is something that the Chiefs are going to do. But focusing on the Eagles, AJ Brown needs to come up on big plays. Who's going to have the big play to turn that momentum or get the fans involved, whatever it may be, but who's going to be that big play? And I believe it's going to be, just running the ball, just boring the defense. How Spagnuolo is going to handle that side as far as substitutions is going to be crucial. But the run game and the defense coinciding together to take possession, the time possession away from the Chiefs, is going to be the turning point of this game.
Oh, absolutely. So on the Eagles side of the ball, you mentioned A.J. Brown. Obviously, we know Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. Who is the key? I mean, feel free to pick one of those guys, but who's the player where if they show up and perform in key moments, gives the Eagles the best chance to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I got a 1A, 1B situation here. I got Big Game Slay. First of all, your name is Big Game Slay for a reason, right? So this is the biggest game of the year. So it's time to show up and show out. That's number one. That's one of the main reasons why I'm even picking him. The second guy that I'm going to have to say is, I mentioned him earlier, is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, you're going to have to help when help is due, when all lights are on you and the play and everybody and their mom knows that the play is coming to you in the air. You're going to have to come down with the ball. That is going to be a big-time situation and a big-time a moment in the game, and he's going to have to come down if they're going to have any chance to win this game.
Absolutely. So I want to touch on one thing. Obviously, I hope this doesn't happen. You know where my allegiance lies. Against the Chiefs in recent years, particularly last year's AFC Championship versus the Ravens abandoned the run game once the Chiefs went up. I think it's crucial that the Eagles, and I'm sure Nick Sirianni knows this, if the Chiefs are winning, you do not try to turn into a pass-first team. Right. You keep handing the ball to Saquon Barkley until it's no longer viable with the clock.
Correct.
Now, if the Eagles get out to a lead, you said the magic words, time of possession.
Correct.
In all 3 Super Bowls Mahomes has won, he was trailing in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So Mahomes knows how to get back into a game and how to take a lead in a big game when the clock is against him. when time of possession has been against him by flipping momentum. We saw in the Buffalo game some big plays by Mahomes, some big scrambles, the big passes Xavier Worthy, a few big passes Juju Smith-Schuster. If you can control the ball, especially when the momentum is building for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, you have a good chance to win this game. So like you said, defense and running the ball. Another one I want to touch on is, can Darius Slay completely remove Xavier Worthy from the game?
Right.
If Xavier Worthy's taken out of the game,
matchup
that
at the game
allows
for
them,
sure.
Absolutely. And that allows them to focus more and more on defending what is already a mediocre Chiefs running attack and trying to take Travis Kelce out of the game. That would leave the game offensively in the hands of Juju Smith-Schuster and DeAndre Hopkins, neither of whom I fully trust in the biggest moments.
Right.
I trust them to make complementary plays throughout the game, like Juju did 2 30-yard catches last week. That's what he's there for. Yeah, he's there to complement the rest of the weapons.
Correct.
If the main weapons are not available, then the Chiefs are going to be in serious trouble in this game, and I would suspect the Eagles win fairly handedly if that is the case. Our third topic today, following the NFC champions, is going to be my Kansas City Chiefs and our keys to victory. So I'm just going to go right ahead and say my piece, and then Josh, I'll hand it off to you. So the biggest key, which I have circled on my paper here, is slow down Saquon Barkley. What was that?
You're so kind. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Slow down Saquon Barkley. I mean, there's obviously the pipe dream of stopping Saquon Barkley. That's not going to happen. That's fairy tale shit. If we can slow down Saquon Barkley, meaning take away the 2nd and 9s where he goes off for 24 yards, take away those 64-yard touchdowns, which we've seen throughout the season and predominantly game-changing runs in the playoffs. You mentioned this in the Eagles segment. Can we put Jalen Hurts in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7s, where we know he's going to pass the ball? Because that's where the Chiefs thrive. Obvious passing downs. You got Trent McDuffie, Josh Williams, Jalen Williams, Najee Johnson. I trust them. I trust them against anything the Eagles have. I do not trust us in 3rd and 3 against Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts running the ball. Okay. Second, Spagnuolo's blitz packages. We saw it in the biggest moments against the Bills. Can Spagnuolo throw a blitz at them that they haven't seen on tape all year and they haven't seen in the game? How can we effectively use cornerback blitzes? How can we get Nick Bolton up on the line to help in the blitz with Chris Jones? Right. But my key is George Karlaftis. Okay. Because when George Karlaftis has been at his best is when Chris Jones starts out hot. Chris Jones gets pressure early. They're going to focus more on him, allowing Karlaftis to come off the edge. And Karlaftis has proven to be a game breaker. He's proven to be a nightmare on 3rd and longs. That is just massive. And like I said earlier with the Eagles, let's flip that. Can Xavier Worthy beat Darius Slay? Do I think he can? No. Can he beat him 2 or 3 times? I think he can. Because if Xavier Worthy makes a few of those game-changing plays, the Eagles are in trouble because that opens up a whole nother dynamic to our offense. If you've got to drop a safety to help with that speed, that allows Travis Kelce in his comfort zone, which is between the hash, getting open, having that kind of mental bond with Patrick Mahomes where they know what each other are doing. They know he knows where Travis Kelce's going, even when that is not the play called. All right. And that all comes down to putting some pressure on that defense by getting some big plays over the top. Like I said, can Juju Smith-Schuster do his job, pop up in key moments? Can DeAndre Hopkins make a handful of solid catches? And he complements Travis Kelce so well because he is best this season on the sidelines, whereas Kelce thrives in the middle of the field. So with all that being said, Josh, And that last minute and 40 seconds is yours.
God, you're so kind for leaving me that much time. Hey, listen, I'm going to go, just because I'm petty, I'm going to go with everything against you just said, right? So let's talk about Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is going to be huge in this game, not because of what he's going to be doing on the line, but what he's going to be doing behind the line. What I mean by that, I think defensively. So I'm thinking all of these defensive strategies here. Spy. Hello, you got to be able to spy. Not only that, you got to go spying left to right, back and forth, because when you're not spying, you still got to cover a guy named Saquon Barkley coming out the backfield. So that's number one. Number two is Karlaftis. Yes, game breaker, game destroyer, awesome. Can he contain the edge? We were talking a little bit off the show a little bit earlier. And you brought up a key point, man. How they're going to adapt to when Saquon gets, past the hash marks, towards the outside, those sweeps and whatnot. If he can contain that, then we're talking a little bit of a different ball game, right? Then we're also going to talk about Trent Duffy. When you mentioned before about A.J. Brown, you have the biggest opportunity of not of your career, but of I guess career to date. Let's just say that, because this is one of the biggest games, right? Whether you played in the Super Bowl 16 times or this is your first one, this is still the biggest game of your life, right? So you got AJ Brown. AJ Brown is coming ready. They got a little bit of a chip in the shoulder. They're going to come a little bit more with something to prove, right? To finish this all off, and then I hand it back to you because I know you want to, you got a little something to say to me. But Spagnuolo, you're the GOAT. All right, you're the GOAT. You got everything. You got 2 weeks to handle this. You got everything under your wings. You got one of the best defenses, the DBs in the game. Don't do too much, but understand this, that the margin for error is very, very slim in this game, because it's all about the running and the containment. One play can break it. And you're talking about Saquon running on the field for 60 to the house, momentum on the side. Now you're talking about a different game. So go ahead. Yeah. I hear you out now.
No, I agree. Trent McDuffie is huge. But I'm just not worried about the passing game in general. I think we're going to be able to get pressure. And I think when the Eagles realize that we are getting pressure, they're going to lean on Saquon Barkley even heavier, which is actually what I'm scared of. I genuinely think the Chiefs could walk into a trap, whereas we are so focused on forcing Jalen Hurts to become a passer that it actually allows Saquon Barkley more opportunities. That is my fear. And with that being said, I think we move right into our game picks, because I think we both know where we're going. We're going to end the show today with our fourth segment, a special game picks, where I have tasked Josh and myself with not only picking the game, I want to see a score, and I want to see the Super Bowl MVP. Josh, you know what? I'll let you go first.
You're too kind. Listen to me. All right, so where do I begin? All right, so first of all, let's talk about what they're going to come out to. The song that they come out to, Out of the Tunnel, is going to play a crucial role in this game as well. Either you're playing Meek Mill's Dreams of Nightmare, all right, or you're playing Too Short with, yes, give me the fireworks in the background, let's go. So or you're playing one of those two songs with Gilly the Kid coming out there and doing his thing. That's number one. All right, no, but on a serious note, back to the game. Obviously, I'm picking the Eagles. That's no surprise there, right? We already spoke about our key points and everything like that. But the thing is that it's a revenge game. They don't want to talk about it being a revenge game. They don't want to say that it's a revenge game. But at the end of the day, this is a revenge game. There's history on the line here. They don't want to be part of that history on the wrong end, and they're going to be on the wrong end twice, right? If I'm not mistaken. So they're not going to let that roll. You know what I mean? So let's throw that out there. Saquon and them boys are on a mission. They're not about who is going to be MVP, who wants to be this. It's about a team vision, and that is going to go a long way in this game, because it's going to come down to a big time play where you have to trust your player, you trust your teammate. And right now, Nick Sirianni, whether you like him or not, he has them boys playing on all cylinders, defensively, offensively, and even special teams. The Philly Dogs, the former Georgia Bulldogs, the Jaden Carters and of the world, they're used to this. They're used to the big game. So I don't think that's going to play a factor in this. I think they have the right vision, the right mindset going in. They know it's all about business, and is ready to go in there and take care of business. So I got the Eagles obviously winning. My MVP, I'm going to give it to Saquon Barkley. He's going to go for about let's go $170. Yes, I said $170, and that's being generous. I'm just being kind there. So $170, give me 2 tutties. And the final score is going to be 32-27, obviously Philly. Come at me, John.
So you're talking about revenge game. How did that work for the 49ers last year? That revenge game. Because they had a chance.
49ers.
They had a chance to get back. And you talk about motivation for a game. I would argue the Chiefs have more motivation. Patrick Mahomes knows if he wins this game, only team ever to three-peat. That, if you're talking about the balance between him and Brady, right now Brady's got the rings, and Brady beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Right. What did Brady never do? Brady never won 3 in a row.
You're right.
So Mahomes knows that. Andy Reid knows that. Travis Kelce knows that. And all our young guys, everybody who's been drafted since 2022 has never not played in a Super Bowl. Even our rookies, our Xavier Worthies, they knew coming into our culture that it's a winning team. Right. No moment's too big for the Chiefs, and we have just as much motivation. And if there isn't motivation, Andy Reid's going to generate motivation because he knows how to get a team ready. I've got the Chiefs winning this one 27-23.
Ooh, okay.
I actually think I picked the Chiefs on the Chaotically Intolerant podcast to score more. I think I picked them at 20 or 31-27. But I'm scaling it back a little bit. Okay. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game because of these two strong offenses. My Super Bowl MVP, if it goes how I think it's going to go, and we win this game, I think it'll be Travis Kelce. Because just the way the team is structured this year, especially with the loss of Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce's performance 2 games ago where he went for 117, I think it's a similar game to that. I think Mahomes in these kinds of games goes to Kelce. He looks to Kelce first. And I think it's going to be a tight game all the way, which even adds to Kelce's need to go to him. So I think Kelce will end up with a little over 100 yards, a touchdown, but I see him being the guy that makes the big play. Very similar to 2 years ago, the 13-second drive, where we took out the Bills and Travis Kelce was the catalyst. I see something similar to that. Chiefs 27-23. Travis Kelce wins the MVP and proposes to Taylor Swift midfield as the confetti rains down. As the confetti rains down, T-Swift, Travis Kelce, they get married this summer, and they invite me because they see this podcast.
Invite you.
Yeah, I know. I went all the way into fantasy land there.
No, you need to bring it down a little bit.
So there you have it, guys. Josh, the co-host of the show for a reason, picks the Eagles. Me, main host for a reason, picks the Chiefs because I know ball. Josh, anything to sign off on our final episode where we actually have football?
Listen, honestly, man, all jokes aside, giving the flowers to the Chiefs. Again, another tremendous year. Both teams, great years. But what the Chiefs have done these past 3 years has been nothing short than amazing. I said it before. We got to appreciate greatness, and we are watching greatness. I'm just a freaking hater, so it is what it is. But honestly, man, it's been a pleasure this year doing this show. Like, again, listeners, thank you for following, supporting. Make sure you keep following everybody. Follow me, Kablunski Sports Show on all the socials. I'm going to get that up and running more often, and I can't wait to get back to it.
Absolutely. And guys, also tune in next week because this is not our last episode. We're going to do a little bit of a Super Bowl review. Hopefully, if I'm not, still crying in my bedroom with the lights turned off for a whole week. That's not going to happen.
Right after the game. We should do it right after the game.
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Because if we win, I'm going to bed because I got work in the morning. No. And if we lose, who knows?
Yeah. I want to be the first person you see when you guys lose.
Absolutely not. It will not be you. It will not be you. It'll be a picture of Patrick Mahomes that I look into longingly, praying for a three-peat.
I'm surprised it's not Bobby Witt. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, baseball season officially starts Monday in my mind. Yes. We're going to be talking a lot of Bobby Witt.
Let's do it.
Next
Can't wait
year.
For baseball.
That's it. We're signing off. Josh, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Love you. We'll see you
Love you,
next
man.
time.
All right, brother. Thank you.